showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
All right, what's going on, everybody? What's the deal? This is Nova Phoenix. I'm right here with you. Come on. All right, turn it up your radios. Let's get this going. It is coming towards the end of the year, and we are here. Hey, listen, this is the second one that I'm doing. Why? Because I actually hit the button and then stopped recording the first attempt. So I got to do this. This is actually my second time doing this. Fuck, man. Anyway. Oh my, yeah, I was going on for like 20 minutes not knowing this shit wasn't recorded. Unbelievable. Anyway, so we here. What's going on, everybody? This is your favorite host on your podcast that you've been looking for, something to pass your time or your Thanksgiving weekend. I am your host, Nova Phoenix. My Thanksgiving was great. It was fantastic. It was nothing but good eats. I'm telling you, I had everything from turkey to brownies and to stuffing and to pumpkin pie and to spinach and to mac and cheese and potato salad and all these good things. Fantastic. It was so much that I had to go to the gym and make sure that I worked out and they put my time in because I couldn't tell. I was like, nah, I can't do that. I don't want to bust any damn buttons on my pants. Yeah, so everybody had a good time. I had the family was together and it was lovely. Hopefully yours was just as good and fulfilling in every sense of the word. So yeah, sorry I didn't bring you that show last week because I just couldn't do it. There was too many things going on, and what was I thinking? I was like, that's not gonna happen because I'm gonna be making runs to the store to get this, forgot that, and all that, and I was all wrapped up in there, so it was not possible. So I apologize for not being able to get you that show. I will have a show, as I'm telling you right now, for this week, and also the official probably last show of 2022 will be next week, and that's it. I usually want to stop around the first and second week of December, give myself a month off, and come back probably like the second week of January 2023, and then I could come back fresh. But I'm going to be on semi-vacation because there's some things that I want to do as far as finishing my white paper and some other things that I'm working on. So I'm glad that I got just put this to a show, to a rest. It's just good to get away and not have to be on rushing to get some things going. So anyway, let's get this show going because there's a lot of things I want to talk about, and it would be great. And this time I will not hit this damn keyboard. All right, so I'm your host, Nova Phoenix, on GCOM Radio, on iHeartRadio. And the first topic that we're going to talk about, of course, it's on their mind, is Twitter, man. Twitter. So, Elon is everybody knows Elon is the owner of Twitter now, and Elon is reinstating Trump. If people didn't know that, now. Who doesn't know? But he reinstated Trump and a bunch of other people, even like he reinstated Andrew Tate. I don't have a big issue with Andrew Tate. He said some questionable things, but I don't think he should have been booted in the first place. He talks a lot of stuff, and that's what you could get with freedom of speech. But this is the thing that I feel like with freedom of speech and Elon. Excuse me, folks. I got a cold. I don't know where I got it from. I think I got it from my kid. Anyway, Elon Musk, I really dug Elon Musk since the days of Tesla and what he was doing, everything with SpaceX, with the renewable energy, with solar panels, everything that he's doing, I think is very forward thinking, fantastic. However, since he's been involved with Twitter, he's been saying a lot of questionable things, and I'm like, that sounds a little racist. Yeah, so I'm like, I treat everybody the same way. I don't know who you are. The only way I find out who you are is by the words that you say, and that's what I go with. And Elon has made several tweets, and he said a number of different things that's kind of like wink, wink to the alt-right racist far right groups, and it's problematic, and it's all under the guise of freedom of speech. And that was the whole thing that he said he was going to do. If he were to buy Twitter, he was going to, stand by the honor of free speech. And so he's done. But the problem is he's reinstating a lot of that anti-black racism, a lot of anti-Semitism, a lot of the far right people. Wait a second, this is free speech. Supposedly he's kind of shutting down the quote unquote leftist folks that is railing against them. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I can only go on from what I see. That's why I follow him. A lot of times people can look, if you can deep fake like Keanu Reeves on other people's faces, and this is a video and you don't know that that's not Keanu. If you can fake people out on that, you could fake people out on a repost of a Twitter tweet. You know what I mean? It's, and say it was a screenshot. I follow Elon because I want to make sure that whatever I get, whatever he's saying in real time, that I understand him. Well, okay, he did say that, instead of going by what someone says. And that's important because if you're going to say something publicly against someone to disc or give them credit, or in this case, take away their credit for whatever they're saying, you want to make sure that whatever you're saying is on point and is not like the word from word by the 5th, 7th, 10th, 100th person. You want to make sure you're actual and factual if you're going to really get out there and throw darts at the person that you have issues with. So I follow Elon and to make sure that what he's saying is coming from him. And if I need to take a screenshot, I'll take a screenshot. But there's a lot of things that I'm like, I've actually gone back on his page and I'm like, nah. But he has said some things that were questionable. All right. He's made some comments, the gun and the George Washington on the boat picture and, with the Coke cans and right. And he said some things about 88 and the number 14 and 88 and number 88 and 14 are Nazi references, number references. I don't know specifically. When I first started to see those things on when I'm looking at a lot of these alt-right pages, it's something in reference to Nazi viewpoints and them being against Jews and such and so forth. So he said a lot, and of course it's coded, and I'm like, word, that's what Elon doing? God damn. So I always go by the words, believe people by their actions and not by their words. That's what's most important, not what they say, but what they do. And what Elon is doing is, unfortunately, it is drenched in anti-black racism and anti-Semitism. And he's saying this under free speech, and he wants to give freedom back to Twitter. And he's basically making Twitter 4chan and all these damn alt-right sites, Truth Social, blah, blah, blah. Now, and the wild thing is that he invited Trump back, of course, but Trump, he was like, hell no, I'm not doing that, because he's contractually tied to Truth Social in case he takes his public or he's trying to sell it or anything. So he can't really, he will kind of be shooting himself in the foot if Trump were to get back on his profile, Twitter profile, and he's got Truth Social. So he's officially said that he's not going back, but I know you can't keep a egotistical narcissist away like Trump. Yo, it's like, it's not, I know he's salivating, he's dying to come back to Twitter. So I don't know who, let's see what happens, but he's held to it. So, even to Apple is removing Twitter. Allegedly, Elon saying Apple's going to remove Twitter from its app platform. And, he said he has the resources and ability. If that does happen, he'll create his own phone. Who knows? Of course, you're going to have a lot of the cult followers that's going to help, cheer on Elon with their pom-poms and say, yeah, Elon, go, you get your own phone. And I'm like, who cares, man? So, I mean, is Tim Cook going to actually do it? That'll be it. Yo, it is going crazy in these social media streets, man. I'm telling you, it is a wild, wild west. It is OK Corral. And I mean, think of your favorite goddamn Western. That's what's happening right now in this world. It is crazy. And I'm here for it to a certain degree. So, I mean, like, yeah, man, he's making Twitter into 4chan and he's saying all these things. And, it was a total cluster F with the situation with the blue check and people paying $8. I don't think I'll ever pay it. I'm not going to do that. And I just got off of Facebook. Can you believe that shit? I just put Facebook behind me and I'll say, oh, I'm going to go to Twitter. And I guess that'll be on top of the list, on top main joints I'm just going to use, right? And then Elon comes with all this shit. I'm like, God damn it. So now people are talking about like Mastodon, some other sites. Where can we go to? And that's why I'm here, folks. That is why I'm here pushing Lyfeblood, because I'm like, I'm not going to jump on anything else. The only thing I'm jumping on is my own brand and looking for that opportunity to really be the alternative to what people wants to do. And why should it just be left to Twitter and Facebook? And I said that before on the channel. I mean, there's got to be other options, and there are. Like, I'm on Fanbase. That's Isaac Hayes' the third's social media site. I'm on there. There's a bunch, and there's I'm also on Nubia, and that's another black-owned social media site, and that's done by Dr. Carr, Greg Carr, and Dr. Karen Hunter. They have a show, and she's on Sirius. So I'm on there supporting them. So, I mean, the alternatives are there. People have to come. They have to come. I don't understand. They talk about Black Twitter. They always talk about Black Twitter. I don't know where Black Twitter is at. But if you're out there and you're giving them the golden content that is partially propping up and supplying Twitter with the billions of dollars, then you could take yourself elsewhere and make another site a $1 billion company. That's all I'm saying. Because, technology, we're at a point where you can't, it's not hard anymore. All you have to do is you get the right people together, you can create a platform, and the people just have to support it. And the social media, I mean, and all, not even social media, Kanye within social media, he's also been let back on. He's saying all questionable things. Now he's rolling with Nick Fuentes, a white supremacist, a far-right white supremacist, anti-black race, full of anti-black racist viewpoints, and also anti-Semitic viewpoints. I don't know how those two came together and why they're road dogs now. You see them in pictures and video. I have no idea how this happened, but I really don't. Look, if this is the hill that Kanye West wants to die on, then he has to take a shot right to the heart on this one and let him die on this hill. And I don't really give a fuck about Kanye, Nick Fuentes, or Elon, and none of them cats, because that is the position that they have firmly placed their feet on. And I'm like, okay, well, that's you, and I understand. I really don't understand this whole thing. And it makes me think the same thing with Balenciaga, and what's Balenciaga and Trump and Elon Musk and Kanye West, what do they have to do with each other? Now everybody knows what happened with Balenciaga, right? So Balenciaga, they put out an ad that is crazy pedo, all right? It was a kid that was sitting in the center, and there was a bunch of BDSM toys or objects around, and there was a bear that was dressed in leather chaps or something like that, and a lot of people got on Balenciaga, and they were saying, "Oh, what the hell is this? This is some crazy pedo stuff." And of course, Balenciaga responded saying, "Oh my God, I don't know how this happened. We got to take it down." Now, all right, let's just take a step back. Everybody knows that Gucci thing that happened, all right, with the blackface turtleneck and had the big red lips. Of course, they were trying to copy the Sambo face, right? And as I said with Gucci, the same people that made the sweater, the same people before it even gets knitted, when it's drawn out, the people that drew this out, there's a lot of eyes on it, all right? When they're actually talking to each other and then passing around these little samples, there was a lot of eyes on it. When they actually knitted the sweater, there was a lot of eyes on it. When the sweater was put on the mannequin, there was a lot of eyes on it. When it was actually put on a live model during the photo shoot, wherever it got disseminated, I don't know what magazine or what place online, where there was a lot of people around it. You can't tell me nobody knew what was happening or how problematic that would be. Of course they knew. And it wasn't going to be it was going to be okay by some low-level person. A person at the very top signed off on it, greenlit it, and they put it out. And of course, when it came out, it was like, oh my God, this is so racist. And what did Gucci say? He was like, oh my God, yeah, we got to pull that down. I don't know how that happened. And what does this all have to do with Kanye and Elon and Twitter? It's called, and I said this before, what Gucci did is pretty much shock fashion. The same thing, the same way when you have shock jock radio hosts, now we have shock fashion. All right, and look at the clothes that they wear in these runway model shows and these and you're seeing the most wackiest, wild, the colors, the shades. I mean, nobody is walking around looking like this in the streets. Nobody. It's laughable. But you know what? What you do is you're having people talk about your brand. Did you see that outfit? Oh my God! They become walking art pieces. It's the same thing that was happening with Gucci. All right, they did something, and it also leads you into the next couple of words that people share around. Not all they say, you know, good press is the right press. Well, you know what? Even negative press is good press, because as long as they're talking about you, even though it's negative, they're talking about you. And while they're saying, "Oh my God, did you hear what Kanye said? Oh my God, yeah, he's such a fucking dirtbag, but he's a musical genius. He has a new record out. You gonna go buy it?" And people get to buying the product, the music, the service, the brand, or whatever he's pumping at the same, conveniently pumping at the same time on the crazy shit that he's saying. So here we go. We have Gucci doing it with the Sambo turtleneck. They pulled it down, but what happens? People are talking about Gucci. The same thing with Balenciaga, and everybody's tossing that pedo accusations, just straight up what you see towards Balenciaga. You don't think they knew what was happening? You don't think they knew what was going on? And they got signed off with the person at the very top. Of course they knew. They go, "Oh my God!" And they're getting at Kim K, and you know, Kim was wearing wild, crazy stuff, and then, you know, the kids in some pictures are wearing some crazy leather stuff, and it's like, "Oh my God, what's going on here? Are you gonna drop them, Kim K? This is crazy." And it's, you know, and Kim K is gonna, you know, she's going to do damage control, and she's gonna say, "Oh my God, I'm horrified," and all this, la. So if she actually gonna cut that long bag, I don't know. But again, people are talking about Balenciaga. So they're all doing the same thing. Kanye, Trump, Elon, Twitter, Gucci. They all talk amongst each other. They all get together on the phone or in those rooms. They all are taking it from the same playbook. Now you're going to tell me, well, are you going to tell me that Elon and Trump is not racist? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all, because if you're going to decide to walk like a duck and quack like a duck and put on a duck suit, then I'm going to consider you a duck and you might get shot. No, I don't want to say that, because then all of a sudden you'll be like, "Oh my God, you're glorifying violence." I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean. So you're going to play that game. People are going to take you as such, even if it's a stunt on your end. And these are calculated risks that super rich people play, because they know, as the super rich, the celebrities that they are, that people are going to eventually, because people got short-term memories. You know, people got short-term memories. They're going to eventually start turning back towards them. I'm like, "Oh, I guess they're not so bad." Excuse me. Sorry, burping on here. When I got a cold, I'm constantly sniffing. Sorry, things kind of, burps gonna come out, my bad. So yeah, so all these things are the same thing, and I'm like, come on. These are all games that they're playing here. And again, I don't know what's Kanye's strategy by rolling with this, this walking turd. Nick Fuentes, I have no idea. I don't know what's the end game to it. I just try to understand it the best I can from my corner of the earth. But he's going to go off and do his thing. So eventually, is he going to run in 2024? Who knows? Probably. He tried to do that last year. You know what I mean? Like when he went to Mar-a-Lago and he was telling Trump he wants to be his running mate. And Trump took took it as a slight and said some crazy about Kim K. And then supposedly he didn't know who he's bringing. Like, who's Nick Fuentes? That's the game. I don't know who this guy is. Of course you know who this guy is. You think as an ex-president that has a lifetime Secret Service detail, you don't think they're going to do any rundowns on whoever's coming to the Mar-a-Lago? Of course they do. That's their job as security. Who you bringing? Nick Fuentes. All right. Hey, Bob, do me a favor. Give me a rundown on who this guy is. They know who this guy is. They can't have this guy come in and all of a sudden this guy has a gun on him and all of a sudden the ex-president gets shot. They'll look terrible. Of course they knew who Nick Fuentes is. Of course. So, and that's the deal. So, I mean, hey, man, social media, Twitter is becoming a literal shit show, man. It's turned into a 4chan site, but it is what it is. And as I said, I think we just need more social media sites We need alternatives, and there are alternatives. We have, I'm on, of course, Fanbase. That's Isaac Hayes III's social media site, and I'm on Nubia. Nubia is a site run by Dr. Greg Carr and Dr. Karen Hunter. She has her own Sirius XM show, and they're doing well. And Karen, Miss Prof. Karen Hunter is doing her thing. So, I mean, the alternatives are there. But, I always have some things to say about Black Twitter, but wherever you at, Black Twitter, listen, if you're given that goal is propping up Twitter to be multi-billion-dollar business that it is from the content that you're sharing, you can, the same activities you could put there, you can migrate and go to other sites that actually is going to have your best interest at heart. And you don't have to worry about being stifled or not getting paid right and things such of that nature. Listen, I have my own platforms and I'm trying to get out there. Everybody knows what I'm doing, and I'm eventually going to get there and make it happen. So, yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's social media. Why should it be kept to Twitter and Facebook and all these other places? I mean, it's become so easy to do that now. It's just a matter of lining up the right people and then making it happen, man. So, yeah. Anywho, there was a song that I was listening to over Thanksgiving. It was, and I heard it before I overheard it. It was, my niece and my nephew and, my daughter was talking about it. It was called Yams, Sweet Yams. Yo, I wish I could play it right now, but I don't want to get hit with a copyright infringement. So I was like, what is this song? So I'm listening to the song and I'm like, yo, that sounds like something. It really does sound like an old 90s joint. Now, Yams is by Masego and Devin Morrison. It's an old song. How fast songs go as they go in the music industry today. It's not old, like 10 years old. It's a year old, 2021. Just heard it now, and it's got a crazy 90s vibe. And I could have sworn I heard this song. I thought it was just a remake they were doing or taking it from an old 90s joint, and they just like flipped it. And nah, it's an original by Masego and Devin Morrison called Yams. And then Fetty Wap did a remix to it called Sweet Yams. And, I'm really digging this joint. And, you had some other like R&B greats that were singing the song along on social media, and they taking on the challenge and they putting it in. Charlie Wilson, my brother Charlie Wilson, I thought that was his song because I heard it. I saw it on Twitter. Excuse me, I saw it on IG. So I'm like, what? But let me tell you, man, I'm feeling it. Yo, R&B needs this. They need the separation from hip hop and start having these hip hop influenced songs like, yo, Chris, chill. And I'm talking about Chris Brown, chill, son. Let's go back to some real traditional R&B, man. I can't. The way they got this hippity hop music all infused into this R&B, it is crazy. Can we just get some R&B joints? It ain't got to be super nasty and graphic and all that. I mean, can we just get like the classic R&B sounds of the 90s? And that's what's up, man. Big shout out to Masego and Devin Morrison for actually listening. Now, it doesn't have to be a straight carbon copy, but just, borrow from that energy and take it your own way for the 21st century, man. So I'm really digging where this is going. I'm looking out for those brothers and anybody else that really wants to do something different. Yeah, so yeah. And it just makes me think, like, get it on the radio. Because radio is trash. That's the other thing I'm talking about here. Radio, and if you know me, radio is trash. Yo, radio is trash. I'm not blaming the morning show hosts. I'm not blaming the people that are on their block time. It's the program director and the higher ups. Yo, radio is so trash, man. Yo, everybody out there is heard the same thing. It's the same 4 goddamn songs, but besides that, they don't play none of the hot shit. They don't play none of the songs by budding indie artists or any artists for that matter, but specifically indie artists, like some people that we listen to all the time. We follow them on social media, and they got crazy followings. But nobody wants to play them on radio. Yo, they don't even play Tyler the Creator like that. And that dude signed. They play the same four, and some of these songs are so trash. I don't want to name them, and yo, some of these songs are so trash. And there's one particular artist that is living their best life off of this one single. And this person got put on by an established rapper, and these rappers is nuts. I'm not even gonna say, because I got ears and I want to hear this, but I know the game is still the same. These rappers is putting on other people and they getting favors. Straight talk. There's no way you cannot convince me, because this song, I'm like, why? How did this song get on the radio? And not just that. Now this person is all at the award shows, and I know, listen, I want the best for some of these the newer generation. I'm not hating. I want them to live, but at least live on good music. I'm like, what is this? What is this? What is this song, man? I change it every goddamn time. I'm like, this is a trash. Yo, they don't play Snow the Product. She's a Mexican rapper. She's doing it all by her lonesome, right? But she got the crazy following on social media. Even a lot of the established artists fucking is following her. She got banging songs. The radio don't play her. People don't play La Russell, my man coming out of the Vallejo, California. The dude, love this dude, young kid, really starting to get the engine in motion on his career. Just started. They don't play none of his songs. Coast Contra, I mean, it's a throwback from the 90s the 90s rap group, LONS, Leaders of the New School. I mean, them dudes blew up online. Like, why are you not playing their songs? Like, who else? They don't even play. I mean, they do play Kendrick, but they don't, even when they play Kendrick, they don't even play Kendrick like that. When this new album came out, they didn't play Kendrick like that. They played it a couple times, but these other trash songs, they got them things on rotation. But Kendrick, everybody knows Kendrick is at the top of his game. If you want to pick the top 5 artists, rap artists, I'm not saying rappers. I'm talking about hip hop artists that at the top of the game lyrically, and just they're the whole package. What? They don't even have him on rotation. Said, if they don't have him on rotation, how do we expect for the radio? It's crazy. I feel almost as like we hate the fact that hip hop is the global economic force that it is, and it's really propping up the American music business. We don't like it, and we're about tired of it. But you know what? If we got to play it, we gonna play the trash. They really do not give 2 fucks about what they put on the radio. It is garbage. I remember back in the day with hip hop, man, you could get on the stage. If you could not move the crowd, you was getting booed off. Excuse me. It was like Apollo Theater. Everybody knows Apollo that came on Saturday nights. When Apollo came on, when the amateur night, if you wasn't nice, the audience will boo the hell out and you get off the stage. And hip hop was the same way back in the day. Yeah, I'm telling my age. If you wasn't nice, if you didn't have flow, if you didn't have crowd control, if you couldn't really get into your art form on stage in the 2-3 minutes that you had, you was trash. And you had to cut your metal on stage just like that and build up your fan base. Now people is getting on just to get on. It is so trash. People know, I know this person. This guy is established rapper. You know, this is my artist. Bop, bop, bop. Trash, man. And the radio. Oh my God. You don't understand. Hip hop needs a revolution, man. And the music is out there. We got to get ears someplace else, because I turn on the radio and I get up in the morning and I'm out on that road and I turn it. I'm switching between Hot 97 and I'll call them out, Hot 97 and Power 105, and I'm like, this is what you playing? Shout out to 10, man. They do have them on her on rotation. Shout out to Afrobeat. They stay getting on. That's fine. I don't have a problem like that. They play other Afrobeat artists. That's what's up. I'm cool. But yo, hip hop, come on, man. Some of this music is just embarrassingly bad. And then you know what gets me? And then I'm gonna say it. Shaq was like, I think he was on Drink Champs and he was co-signing it. I'm like, Shaq, you came from Fool Schnicken days where it was about lyrics and you talking about what? Oh my God. Anyway. Yeah, I was listening to Mike Vick. It's funny, I was talking about Mike Vick over Thanksgiving weekend. I'm like, damn, that guy got dealt a bad deck of cards. It's one of those sad stories, man. And funny enough, he was on Club Shay Shay. That's the host is like Shannon Sharp. And he was on the show. I was like, oh, snap, Shannon Sharp got Michael Vick on. Yo, I got to check this out. So I'm driving and I'm listening to it and I'm hearing this story. And of course, I know the whole thing because I was there when he got bagged for the dogfighting ring thing. But what was surprising to me is that Michael did it himself. Did you hear this? He said he was talking to Shannon. He was like, his boys had nothing to do with it. His boys didn't drag. He was in it. He was the captain of the ship on this dogfighting thing. And I'm like, what, Vic? And then Shannon asked him, you have all, he had 15 mil in the bank chilling. He was like, okay, what am I going to do with all this money? At the height of his career, when he was in Atlanta. That dude had such an arm, man. Oh my God. Fucking Michael Vick had such an arm. And then he was like, yo, I had 15 million. I had everything. He had 15 million in the bank. And Shannon was like, what's up? Why'd you? He's like, yo, it was just, I'm from, the hood where I was from and I didn't think nothing of it. And I did it. He said, yeah, I had some other deals for restaurants and for like chains and all this. And he said the blueprint was there. The blueprint was there. But the thing was, he decided to go with this goddamn dogfighting thing. And I'll say it's bad. I'm not gonna lie, it was bad. But this is what that got me. They put that dude through the goddamn ringer. This guy got 2 years in jail. He didn't even know that he was gonna get slapped with some years. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some, but he didn't know he was gonna get 2 years. He got 23 months. And I thought that was overboard. I was like, yo, you gonna throw Michael Vick? He was not even arguably, he was the undisputed champion of QBs of the time. He was the first QB that played out the game out the pocket. He wasn't standing like what the traditional QBs would do. He would drop back 3 or 4 steps, let the line take care of it, and look for the receiver. My man was a scrambling QB. The first time I've ever seen anything like that. He was the blueprint. I was like, yo, my man is running like a running back, like a quarterback. This dude he's running with this ball. It was a part of his game. And he was saying to Shannon, it was just, that's how I wanted to play. That's how I did it. Yo, this dude was off so much so that people started hating on Mike. And I said this on the show before. They was hating on Mike to the point it was like, oh, yo, you stop running, ba, 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 ba. And he was like, I'm going to show y'all. And he stayed in the pocket, still flicking that ball, man. Flicking that ball from where that camera angle was at. My man he didn't put no effort in the way he threw that football. He threw it like 80 yards to the point where he almost threw it outside the end zone. That's how powerful this dude's arm was. And I'm a Joe Montana fan. Joe Montana had an arm. Tom Brady, I give it up to Tom Brady, but Tom Brady, I don't know, that whole football deflate gate, whatever that thing is. It was Joe Montana, who was, I had a couple other QBs. I can't remember at this time because I can't let it flow off the top of my head. But yeah, Joe was the man, right? What's the Miami Heat do? The Miami Dolphins. I forgot this dude's name. That was my man too. But he was this dude had such an arm, Michael Vick. Anyway, so he gets bagged, right? And it's a wrap for him. Yo, he lost. You guys got to watch the Shannon Sharp thing. They took everything away from this dude. Yo, the league, Atlanta asked for the money back. They took the money. He filed bankruptcy. And he thinks right now it's questionable how all this money disappeared. He was like, yo, because they were saying that he got his money from dogfighting, so they got to take that money too. I'm like, wait a second, you can't run no audit? You can't be like, nah, yo, match this up with my check. I didn't get no money from this. How they take hit? They drained his bank account. They drained it. And here it is, my man, 2 years, and he was saying he was crying. Yo, man, let me tell you, it was never the same. For me, he wasn't the same after he came out. Of course, the league was like supporting him. Robert Goodell, I think his name, the commissioner, came out when he was right as he was coming out. Of course, it was Michael Vick. It was like, yo, you don't think teams is looking at him? Like, you'd be like, yo, this dude had, and he did pretty all right. He did pretty all right when he came back out. But to me, personally, it wasn't the same. He wasn't the same Michael Vick when he was in Atlanta. And then I think he went to Philly, and then he went to Pittsburgh. I think he went to Pittsburgh. Was it Pittsburgh? I can't remember. And then that was it. He didn't have that same fire, that energy. It's like they took that spirit out of him, man. And all this, everything that they did to Michael Vick, he got that nigga wake up call. I tell you, boy, even he thought he was going to be like, nah. And they even said that, hell no. All the while, Brett Favre today, stole money from millions of dollars away from whole ass poor communities. And this motherfucker walking around like, yeah, well, I don't think I should even, you got other QBs that got, doing crazy shit, beating up their wives and everything, white QBs, and they ain't seen a lick of jail. This dude fought, granted, he did take, he said he was heading up that thing, and it was a bad mistake. But I'm saying he couldn't do a PSA, as I say all the time, a PSA, public service announcement, pay Pater like $5-10 million. If they want to throw in a suspension for 6 months out the league, okay, whatever. But I didn't think my man should have seen any jail, though. Crazy, man. Absolute nuts. And I'm glad he's healthy. He's a sports commentator now. I don't really see as much sports as I can because I've just been busy. But he's a sports commentator, and that's what's up. But and the thing is, it's one of those bittersweet stories that, man, to hear him talk, he was like the top of the league, number one QB. His contract was $130 million or $150 million with Atlanta. It was the highest paid contract for an NFL player of the time. This dude was, he was legendary. And all of a sudden, he just made the wrong choice, and everything is gone. That's nuts, man. That's a sad story. And I guess a lot of people might try to make logic of it and say, that wasn't God's plan. But damn, that sucks. You was the man. Everybody's watching you. Highest paid NFL player, and then you just made a bad decision. And then even Shannon was like, there was dogfighting where he's from, in the hood where he was from. But, nobody went to jail. Mike Vick said that it happened when in the hood where he came up. Nobody went to jail. But damn, Michael Vick, the star QB of the NFL at the time, God damn, man, that dude got that nigga wake up call. And I see why, because he was like, damn, everything I gave to this goddamn sport, everything that I did, it was my first offense. And you mean I can't negotiate a deal? You got to throw me in jail? Really? You gonna give me jail time for this? If it was Joe Schmo off the side of the street and you want to give me, you don't know, but I can't work this out. Yo, man. And I think personally, that's they got his spirit, man. They got his spirit. He came back, and to me, he was never the same. But shout out to Mike Vick, man. It's quite a story to tell. It's all good. You learn from your mistakes and you move on. And now, besides that, you just go watch the Shannon Sharp show. There was a lot of things going on besides the whole dogfighting ring. Before that, he was having some things going on. So, hopefully he has peace, and he has some sort of balance in his life now and taking care of his kids, his 5-year-old son. And yeah, that's what's up. Shout out to Mike Vick, man. Yeah. So the last thing I'm going to talk about here, second to last thing. So BlockFi. BlockFi has filed for bankruptcy, and by exposing themselves to the FTX exchange, as everybody knows. BlockFi, it's crazy, man. There's a negative cascading, like it is a bonfire, and everybody was saying this. Everything and everyone connected to FTX, they are going down in flames like the Hindenburg, and BlockFi is one of them. And BlockFi is actually filed for bankruptcy. It's on their website too. They're filing for bankruptcy. They're actually suing a holding company for Sam what's his name, Bankman Fried, to recover shares in the Robinhood Markets pledged as collateral 3 weeks ago. So they're suing this holding company. BlockFi sold a portion of crypto assets worth $238 million, and now they have about $256 million cash on hand. The wild thing is, when you look at their report, they're saying they have assets and liabilities ranging from $1 billion to $10 billion. That is a wide number. I'm like, nobody knows what the whole... So they have assets and liabilities in a range of $1 billion to $10 billion. What exactly are the liabilities? I don't know. But they sold a portion of the crypto assets, and now they got $256 million in hand. A lot of people might be like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I'll get to why I'm like, stop stressing, y'all. Stop stressing. They have plans to lay off 292 employees. In July, BlockFi was going to receive $400 million in revolving credit, while the option was open for FTX to buy it for $240 million. That ain't happening, of course. BlockFi is one of BlockFi's largest creditors, is Ancora Trust, and is owed $729 million. Valar Ventures, it was a Peter Thiel-linked VC fund, owns about 19% of BlockFi's shares. Amazing. Well, everybody's coming down with this, dragging everybody down. The U.S. SEC, as a matter of fact, is one of the larger creditors with $30 million in claims. The SEC. And they said in February, a BlockFi subsidiary agreed to pay $100 million to the SEC and to 32 states to settle charges involving a retail crypto lending product that the company offered nearly 600,000 investors. Interesting. Actually, they're saying in early November, they paused withdrawals because of the whole FTX thing. I don't know if they restarted it. I have no idea. I went to the site, so I have no. It's, as I said, there's a banner at the top of the site saying that they are filing for Chapter 11, and that they can see the filings right from there. So, I mean, it's terrible what's happening to BlockFi. They actually have, I forgot the gentleman's name, that's taking over BlockFi right now to straighten things out. But a lot of people might have problems with them saying that they have a certain amount of cash, $256 million in cash on hand. And their liabilities and assets range from $1 billion to $10 billion. And it's like, how much of those liabilities? And pretty much they're just it's a roaring inferno right now with BlockFi, but things going to be restructured, and they're going to see if they can save BlockFi. I'm surprised that the SEC actually has a dog in the fight on this one. I'm like, $30 million claim, that's crazy. Everybody was getting in on this. But the thing was, what I was trying to say is, a lot of people might say with Web3 and the cryptocurrency market that, oh my God, this is just smoke and mirrors, and it's just one big Ponzi scheme, pump and dump, and look at it. They look at what BlockFi has. They don't really have any cash, and we have no idea how much debt they actually have in terms of their assets and liabilities. And I mean, you got to think of it like this, right? Even in this current economic system, Neiman Marcus, a long time ago, many moons ago, I actually did a piece on businesses, large chains that are actually going through Chapter 11, and for some reason, they are still alive and well. One of them was Neiman Marcus. They filed Chapter 11. They actually owed 1.2, I think, if I'm correct, I actually tweeted it, $1.2 billion in debt. And it got refinanced, the debt got restructured, and somehow, and Neiman Marcus is a high-end luxury retail chain. This, as I said at the time, and I still believe now, it is what did I say? It was The Walking Dead, almost. A lot of companies are chains right along with Neiman Marcus or The Walking Dead. They are zombie companies. How the hell do they owe so much in debt, but yet these doors are still open? Like any common sense situation, or people would say, wait a second, we are drowning in debt. Our revenue is not in any way going to cancel out any of these debt. There's nowhere where we could come up with a reasonable payment plan to pay. We might as well close these doors. Neiman Marcus is done. We had a good run for about 15, 20 years, but we might as well just close this out, do a massive liquidation sale, whatever product they have in the stores, close all the chains. It's a wrap. That's it. All right, people, go home, find a job. I'm sorry it went out like this, right? But no, they filed Chapter 11, and somehow they were able to restructure their debt and they're able to set up a payment plan. Who the fuck goes to Neiman Marcus? Who goes to Neiman Marcus? How the hell is Neiman Marcus still? And the whole reason why they filed for Chapter 11 is when COVID hit. They were already getting massively knocked down from the changing of the consumer landscape, because it was Amazon killed the business, the internet killed the brick and mortar business. So they already had one foot in the grave, and then unfortunately COVID hit, and that just put the final nail in the coffin. But somehow they're still up and running, and I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? It's in the same playbook. It's in the same playbook as what happened to what do you call it? GameStop. The short on GameStop, and these companies and hedge funds even make money off of a sinking business. So they short the stock and see if they could come away with funds. Even in death, you can make money in the capitalist system. And somehow in the capitalist system, you could be you could have a business that's a walking dead, but somehow there's money to be made. And that's what's the problem. It's not Web3 that's the issue. It's not cryptocurrency. Of course, as I said before, some of the technology, there's holes in it. This is very early in this market for where Web3 is going, and in the DeFi market as well. We understand this. It's very early. So you're gonna have those agents, those actors that just, they want to smile and see the ship sink, and they're gonna send out any code. They're gonna do whatever they can to cripple this entire industry and show people. And there's other people. There's the left hand that's at play, and you're gonna have people that are skeptical of Web3, and they're like, see, look what happened. This company lost gillions of dollars, especially with FTX and Terra Luna and all these other crypto companies that is going belly up and crashing the industry. Bitcoin's still holding tight. It's taking a hit, but it's still holding. So it's not so much as Web3, and I said this before, it's not the market that's the problem, it's the people. The people are the problem. Sam Bankman-Fried to Adam Newman to what's that woman that made that stupid medical thing, man? What's her name? And I saw the documentary, Medical Business Charged. Let's see here. What's her name? Keywords here. What's her name? Damn, what was her name? Charged. But let me see what's her name? I am not going to give this up. Oh man, and it pulled up when I Google searched it. Medical startup. Let me put startup. Elizabeth Holmes. That's it. Elizabeth Holmes, right? And her business. So, Sam Bankman-Fried to Adam Newman to Elizabeth Holmes, they're all getting his money, and they all come. It's oh my God. It's the same Ivy League people. It's coming from the same group. It's coming, and they're doing the same tactics. the same behavior, the same personalities, the same outcome. And they don't give a damn about the business that they're running. All of a sudden, they were privileged enough to make multi-billion-dollar companies, and they're not mature enough or emotionally mature enough or mature enough within business to know how to operate it. And they tank, in this case with FTX, not only tanked the company, but they almost fucking buried an entire market. This is the problem. And then these same people are going to get money again on their next pay. Everybody needs a participation trophy. There nobody loses. Everybody wins, right? With the same with Neiman Marcus. It's business or how they talk about in your economics class is not how business runs in the real world. Everybody wins. There are no losers because you're too big to fail. The only people that lose are the people that buy the product on taxes. That's the only people to lose, the consumers. So these people just waltz up in these, hey, Bobby, remember me from Stanford? Remember me from MIT? Because all those people that worked in FTX, they were all buddies that are going to the same school. It's the same thing. And he said, there's no accountability. Everybody's running amok, running wild. They're creating business plans on napkins. They was like, sure, no problem. You remind me of my son. I'll give you $2 billion. And then all of a sudden there's no accountability, and these people just run amok and destroy businesses just haphazardly. And the same thing keeps on happening. The cycle continues. There's going to be another Sam Bankman-Friedman. There's going to be another Adam Newman. There's going to be another Elizabeth Holmes. Same thing over and over again. It's not the business. It's the people. It's fucking it up. Neiman Marcus should have closed years ago. And I explained how the whole FTX thing and the parents and Sam's parents goes. There are professors at this school, and his partner that ran Alameda, her parents went to his school. I mean, it's all fucking crazy. Everybody knows each other. That's how that shit went with the SEC. The people that's working on the regulations, they used to be the assistant to the person running the. I can't remember his SEC. It's madness, man. It's all in cahoots. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. And you're tanking entire. It is so irresponsible how this is happening right before our eyes. And everybody's looking around like they don't know what's happening. Oh, I don't know. And it's like nobody's talking about the 10,000-pound elephant in the room. Wild. Just wild. Last thing. I'm going to get out of here. Raphael Warnock versus Herschel Walker. Listen, this is all I'm going to say with this situation. We've seen Herschel Walker talk so many times. This guy is a complete fucking buffoon. He's a blockhead. He took too many hits on the football field. This guy is a moron. Now, I'm not a big fan of Raphael Warnock, especially when I think it was a bad political move, even though he thought it otherwise when he was approached about reparations, that he didn't have, to me, he should have had better words set for that. Even though there, of course, politically, there are certain areas where you can't go towards or going into, you'll get blockages because it's just the layout of Congress. I get that, but you got to have words for the black community. The black community, you can't, it's not, Obama went with the rising tide lifts all boats. That doesn't work anymore because black people are getting hip to the game. Black voters are getting hip to the game, and there are certain specific tangibles that are that the black community needs, black voters needs, in order for them to support you as a senator. Now, I personally think there should be someone else if Raphael Warnock can't pull the load on that. However, wait a second, Herschel Walker is not the person to pick. This guy is basically a ventriloquist puppet, and Graham got his hand deep up his ass, and McConnell got his hand deep up his ass. Trust me, there's room for two grown-ass man's hands to go up the ass of Herschel Walker, and they got their arms deep, elbow deep, to make sure this guy is going to do exactly what they want and push some far right agenda. And this guy don't know shit from shite. He don't even understand how they're using him. In what way? Like I said, he's a ventriloquist goddamn puppet. So, as I said, votes got to be strategic. You're going to vote for Raphael Warnock because you can't let this fucking turnip win, right? That's embarrassing. You vote for Raphael Warnock, but as I said, you have to be strategic in your communities in terms of who you allow to come to represent you. And if Raphael Warnock can't be for the next, then you have to get someone else. And you start from the bottom. And you get together, you create your own think tank, and you groom the politician that you want, and then you can have someone replace. Republicans play the long game. It's not just in immediate voting cycles, every 2 years, every 4 years. You got to think the long game, 20 years out. As soon as your youngest turns 18 and they're at voting age, you got to give them a game plan. I'm not saying specifically you in the House. If you don't have the ability to do that, point them in the right direction towards someone or some group that has their head on their shoulders and has a solid game plan. And then you can see what you can do other than voting that's going to shift the political landscape in your immediate community. And hopefully that can bleed up. You move to the top. The farther as the time goes on, and the more experience and the more political wranglings that you can get into, you can move up that political ladder. So for right now, this is what I see. Short-term Raphael Warnock. Do not let this fucking sock puppet in here. Do not let this sock puppet or Herschel Walker get up in this motherfucker. And then you make moves in 2, 4, 5, 10 year strategy plans. All right. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I got for you right now. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble on, and appreciate you for listening. Hopefully you had some good eats going for Thanksgiving, and there's going to be another good eats moment when Christmas comes around. You know how that goes, Christmas dinner. So guys, thank you for listening, and please tune into the last show of 2022 next week, and peace out. I'm good.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.